Welcome everyone to the location and fight guide for Mairwyn the Elementalist. The boss can be found in the Emberleaf Grove in Silverlight Hills. The exact location is shown on the map with a blue circle. This boss has 8 main key points. Before starting the boss, it is recommended to use a fire resistance potion, as the boss has 2 very strong fire abilities. Also during the fight I used a health potion, as there is a perfect time to use one. When standing in melee range, the boss will teleport away from you every so often to perform a range attack. This can be any of the attacks the boss uses during this fight. The boss will fire a large frost projectile your way. When hit, this will deal a large amount of damage, freezing you for about 1.5 seconds, followed by splitting into 6 smaller projectiles. When hit by these, you will receive a decent amount of damage and get chilled for about 5 seconds. When the boss yells "Purge", the boss will summon a spinning object that will shoot out fire projectiles that will spin in a circle. Try to stay close to the spinning object while walking with the direction of the projectiles. When hit, each projectile will deal a decent amount of damage and leaving a dot for about 3 seconds, which will deal a decent amount of damage every second. The boss will put a chaos cloud around you, followed by 5 chaos orbs that will move towards you. When hit, each orb will deal a decent amount of damage and stun you for about 1 second. The boss also fires 3 frost projectiles in a row. When hit, each projectile will deal a decent amount of damage and chill you for about 4 seconds. When the boss yells "Back to hell with you", after a few seconds the boss will summon a circle around her that will move outwards. When hit, this will deal a decent amount of damage and putting you into a floating orb for about 3 seconds. During this, you are not able to use any abilities. The boss also clones herself. During this, both the real boss and the clone will fire 3 chaos orbs your way. When hit, each orb will deal a decent amount of damage and stun you for about 1 second. If you know which of the 2 is the clone, it is recommended to kill the clone first, as this target has way less health than the boss itself. You can find out which of the 2 is the clone, as the clone will not perform any abilities beside the 3 chaos orbs. When the boss yells "I will end you, worm", the boss will freeze herself for about 25 seconds. I would recommend using a health potion right away when she freezes herself if you are low on health. During this, a big fire orb will appear that will try to follow you around. This fire orb also shoots out fire projectiles. When hit, each projectile will deal a small amount of damage and leaving a fire dot on you for about 3 seconds, which will deal a decent amount of damage every second. After defeating this boss, you will gain the Crystal Lance ability. Launch a frost projectile that will deal 190% magical damage and inflicts chill. When hitting an enemy that is already chilled, you will freeze them instead for about 4 seconds. The Crystal Lance will then splinter into a nova of projectiles. When hitting an enemy, each splinter will deal 40% magical damage and chilling or freezing the targets. And if enemy players are frozen by this ability, they will be frozen for 2.5 seconds instead. You are now also able to make Imperial Thread at the loom. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and if you want to see some live content, you can always come and visit me at twitch.tv/Chiraku. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.